Right, Enzo Maresca fields 11 players, but he may well have just fielded 11 lawnmowers because they have just cut through your garden like a bunch of landscapers on steroids, my friends. Chelsea 4, your garden 1. And the first thing you're going to all do is you're going to get in the comments and go, oh, your garden, no one's even heard of them. You didn't even know them before the game. That may well be true. That may well be true, right? But they weren't shit when they beat Rapid Vienna, Legia Warsaw, a team that caused us massive problems, other teams in the Conference League so far, and they're in the semi-final. And not only that, right? You've got to look at the fact of tonight we have played away on an AstroTurf pitch. By the way, it became very apparent to me within the first couple of seconds of the game that this was going to be difficult. The ball would not run smoothly. Whereas on a Premier League pitch at Stamford Bridge or any other ground in the league, you might have a ball dinked over the top that takes 3-4 bounces and moves on. This ball would literally stop the second it hit the AstroTurf. It was very, very peculiar playing style for the Chelsea players, but we got it right. And, all things considering, I think that you have to say that Enzo Maresca got it right tonight with this starting lineup. Now, I probably would have preferred him, and I think you'd have seen from my match preview, if you had to watch that, to have gone with less of the players that we'll need for the Liverpool game in that starting lineup. However, he did give some sort of indication in my eyes as to what we're going to go with and what we're going to go for in that Liverpool game, in the fact that Romeo Lavia was left out completely. Certain players only getting, half of the game per se, but it was Jorgensen in goal, Joshua Changpong at the back, Tosin Adarabioyo, I thought it was very good tonight. Benoit, Badiashile, little bit disappointing for me. Kukurea at left back. He inverted in at times. We had a lot of the ball, but you had Kiernan Dewsbury Hall, Reece James at the base of midfield, and Enzo Fernandez really pulling strings, running the show tonight. Noni Madueke on one side, Jadon Sancho on the other, and through the middle we had Tyrick George. Now, there were obviously changes at halftime. We saw the likes of Cole Palmer, we saw the likes of Nicholas Jackson, and that's something that's really, really important for me because we'll speak about the link-up play that is starting to blossom once again, but there's something more important. There's something much more important, in fact, and that, my friends, is Brentford. Not Brentford as a club, just Brentford beating Nottingham Forest tonight. That is huge. That is massive. Now, when I gave my running prediction probably a month or two ago with Josh, I spoke about the Nottingham Forest game, and I said that, to be honest, the way Nottingham Forest are playing and the way that their fixtures look, I don't think that Nottingham Forest will have anything to play for in that game other than, trying to achieve a higher finish. But I think that their Champions League qualification would have already been secured by that point. And now, after that loss to Brentford tonight, it flips everything on its head. This, my friends, may well come down to the last day of the season for Champions League qualification. And who have we got? Nottingham Forest. It's away, it's going to be difficult, but if we pull that off, it will be fucking epic. And I'm going to try and get myself to that match. In the meantime, Forest have a couple of games that you would consider very winnable. And they've still got to play Crystal Palace in there, who are a decent outfit themselves and can cause a lot of attacking threat with the likes of Mateta, Eze, other players they've got in there. So, yeah, it's going to be difficult. But off the back of what I've seen tonight, I think that I can go into the Liverpool match with a little bit of confidence. Now, I will be dropping a Liverpool preview with the big dog, Josh Oveste, tomorrow in the studio, so I'll speak about that. But I'm just going to recap the key moments of the game. And it started off for me with the artificial pitch, but also, I have to big up the Djurgården fans, mate. They were electric. And even when they were 4 goals down, right? Even when they were 4 goals down, they were fucking having it off, the Djurgården fans. And fair play to them. First time in a European semi-final. You know, it's a big achievement, whatever the competition is and whatever the level is for Djurgården. So, very, very happy for them. But let's be honest, we're in the final. We're in the final. We could literally, like, do you know what? I think we could play 11 Christopher Nkunkus and maybe Robert Sanchez in goal, and we'd 10 Christopher Nkunkus and Sanchez in goal, and I think that we'd still go through, to be honest, with that 3-goal aggregate lead. But let's not speak too soon. Now, speaking of soon, it only took us 12 minutes to break the deadlock in this one. Chelsea started lively here. First half, really, really good. And I spoke about the fact that when you played the ball along the ground, it was falling short, well short of the intended mark. So what do? You give it to a maestro in Enzo Fernandez. He dinks a beauty of a ball over the top. Jadon Sancho tries to control it, and he does control it, but it's a little bit complicated in there. Right-footed finish, puts it past the goalkeeper. There was a Jorgensen defender who got a touch, but regardless, it's Jadon Sancho's goal. It was going in. Now, just before half-time, Chelsea get our second, and it's really good play. We've had a lot of complaints of sideways passes, backwards passes and things like that. And this is the sort of play out from the back that Enzo Maresca will very much be hoping that he can replicate in the 4 games that we have left in the Premier League. It comes from the back, straight to Kiernan Dewsbury Hall, quickly moves it onto Enzo Fernandez, who is completely running the game, by the way, at this point, pulling strings. Enzo Fernandez squeezes it onto Noni Madueke. Noni Madueke takes it on first time and converts it. That's him grabbing his 15th goal involvement in all competitions this season in just 29 starts. But just quickly, are you a fan of the 3 p.m. blackout? No, of course you're not, because no one fucking is. But with our friends Surfshark, we are able to navigate a way around that 3 p.m. blackout and watch all of the action taking place at 3 p.m. in the Premier League. Because it's been alleged that with Surfshark, for a very, very low monthly subscription, you are able to change your location to the USA, to Spain, to anywhere in the world that doesn't have the 3 p.m. blackout. But it's not just about watching content that you may not be available to get in the country that you're residing in. A VPN also does wonders for keeping your information safe online. Using a VPN is pretty much the same as putting on a pair of trousers before you leave the house. It keeps the stuff that you want private. And Surfshark keeps all of your online activity encrypted so you can browse privately, block ads, and virtually travel the world in one click. So I've already talked about the football, but let's say you're traveling and you want to log into your online banking. On a public network, anyone can sneak in and have a look at what you are up to. But with Surfshark, you can mask your IP. So all of your traveling is encrypted and your personal info stays personal, just for you. And that's exactly why I use Surfshark on a daily basis. I use it for the football, I use it to stay safe online, and with just one click, you guys could do the exact same. One subscription gives you access to unlimited devices, and they have a 24/7 helpline if you need any support. So I honestly couldn't be happier to be partnering up with Surfshark. These guys are legit the best in the business. And if you want a mega deal on me, make sure that you go to the link in the description or just scan the QR code that's on screen now for 4 extra months of subscription at an unbeatable price. But remember, my code is SharkJoey if you want that offer. They'll even give you a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's literally no risk if you are not happy with the product. Huge shout out to Surfshark. Let's get back into it. So I think that Noni Madueke is one that we earmarked as being a very, very important player for Enzo Maresca. I was baffled when there was rumours of him potentially going to a Newcastle at the start of the season, because I think that systematically he fits very much what Maresca wants from his wingers, and I think there's a bright future there ahead of Noni Madueke. Now, 58 minutes into the match, we've seen a few half-time changes. We've seen Jackson come on, we've seen Palmer come on, we've seen Reece James come off. And 58 minutes in, we see something that I have longed to see for such a long time. Such a long time. And that is a Palmer assist to Nicholas Jackson. And yes, you'll say, well, Palmer didn't technically get the assist. Yeah, he did. He squeezes the ball through to Nicholas Jackson. Jackson's got the defender in front of him. The defender does get there before him, but it's the tenacity of Nicholas Jackson that gets you that goal, because if you don't buy a ticket, then you don't win the raffle, do you? And was it lucky, the goal? You'll see it on the highlights when you watch them when they come out. Yeah, it was. But do you create your own luck in life? Yes, you do. And do I think, I know it sounds like I'm slagging him off all the time here, but do I think that Nkunku would have scored that goal? No, because I don't think he'd have been in a position to get lucky. Mark Yu, on the other hand, yeah, he probably would have. Although he has missed an open goal in this Conference League campaign so far. 6 minutes later, there was nothing lucky about this, my friend. Nothing lucky at all. Caicedo, who has come on, he wins a great interception, lunging on the edge of the box. Nicholas Jackson has players around him. He's not, on his preferred foot. Not even in the most favourable position. You don't see him score many from outside the box, to be honest. And he takes a touch with the right foot, and it's just a little sweep to take it away from his man. Left-footed finish, top bins, a beauty of a goal from Nicholas Jackson. And just the sort of form that we need him to be hitting before this Liverpool game and going into the 3 games that we've got after that. I'm telling you now, regardless of opposition, right, your garden or my garden, if that was Isaac that scored that goal, we'd be raving about it. We would, honestly. Do you know what I mean? If it was Chris Wood, we would. I'm just saying. Now, 68 minutes in, Djurgården do manage to pull one back through 18-year-old Mulugeta, I believe it's pronounced. Never heard of him before. Looks a good player. Lapsing concentration from Chelsea at the back, really. The ball is played out to the left-hand side. It's dinked high over the top. And when it's high, you've always got quite a bit more time to prepare for the ball to land. And that's why when it's dinked quite high, it's something Pedro Neto does quite a lot. And sometimes I'm a little bit like, we're not really a team that score that many headers, and really, if you're going to do it, you're better off whipping one in like Noni Madueke has to Cucurella a couple of times and getting like a diving header on it than playing it higher when we're not sort of notorious for scoring headers. But Djurgården clearly do know how to score a header, because when that ball is whipped in, Mulugeta heads it down into the ground. And the reason I say there was a lapse in concentration is Benoit Badiashile is right there, and he just doesn't jump for the ball. I don't know whether he's thinking, I've got cover because Josh Changpong's behind me, but Josh Changpong's got 2 men, right? And you should always go with the man behind you. So Josh Changpong's gone with the man behind him, but the problem is there's a man in front of him. But there's also another man in front of him in Benoit Badiashile who should have jumped for the ball. He didn't, heads it into the ground. He scores the goal, Mulugeta. And do you know what? It's a shame. It's a shame for Jorgensen that he doesn't get the clean sheet there, because he made 2 really good saves in that match, and I think that he very much deserved the clean sheet. I thought that some of the defenders, Tosinada Harabayo, really good performance in there. Cucurella is always very, very solid. Man of the match for me tonight has got to go to Enzo Fernandez. I thought he was pulling strings. I thought he played really, really well. And I think the level up in class is something that we've really, really seen from Enzo Fernandez this season. And again, I keep going back to the AstroTurf pitch thing, but it is a big difference. I remember previous Champions League campaigns gone by when we played on AstroTurf, and it ain't easy, right? And one thing that usually happens is you usually pull up with a few injuries. So I think it's mission accomplished as well as it possibly could have been tonight from Chelsea, and specifically from Enzo Maresca. I think that there's no player tonight that is now going to be a doubt for the Liverpool game. I think that there's no player tonight that has played too many minutes that they still won't contribute and be fresh in that Liverpool game. And I think that maybe, and I'll predict this in tomorrow's video when we speak about the game, I think that maybe we will see Enzo Fernandez, Romeo Lavia, and Caicedo on the pitch together for that Liverpool game. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, people. Making this a quick one tonight because I want to get some food and get off to bed. But either way, we got one foot in the final, and let's be honest, we got one hand on the trophy, in my opinion. And we're on for a Champions League finish at this moment in time. We may go and get spanked by Liverpool, but let's live in the moment, ladies and gentlemen, or gentlemen and the 0.3 ladies that I have that are subscribed to this channel. Big up all of you, by the way, that are subscribed. Thank you very much for sticking around to the end of another video, and I will see you all in the next one.